Self-love is celebrating your unique essence and loving yourself unapologetically. How is it that we expect to find love without really knowing love and how it feels? How can we show others how we need to be loved when we don't know the answers ourselves? Self-love is something that is not common in both men and women. Most of us don't know how to even start to love ourselves because we never really thought about it, or we're depending on others to give us the love that we desire. We don't even realize that the love that we desire is the love for ourselves, from ourselves. And yet, the lack of self-love is common, sadly enough. Many people may love pieces of themselves, but they don't love them full selves. And if you think about it, it's very ironic. I say that because when we are out for a relationship, we tend to love everything about that person. Their flaws, their quirks, their idiosyncrasies, because this is what makes them them. And this is what makes them unique. So we love them anyways. We give that person our all the time, and we love hard. Yet when it comes to ourselves, we're hard on ourselves. We point out our imperfections. We point out our flaws and our quirks. And we try to find ways to hide those pieces of ourselves from others, but also from ourselves. We are the worst critics we have. We can't believe everything that we think because this will in turn cause us to not live a full life. These pieces make us who we are, what we are, and how we are. And yet we push them down due to lack of self-love, which in turn impacts your self-esteem and body image that you have for yourself. So we think of these pieces as imperfections that are embarrassing or not quote-unquote perfect. We push the things that make us individuals down to the point we strip ourselves of our individuality to fit in with the majority, because with the lack of self-love, we fear sticking out. We fear stepping outside the box. We fear showing our true selves. Have you ever took the time to ask yourself the why? Why is it that we hide ourselves? And why is it that we don't love ourselves the way we love others? What is it that is causing you not to love yourself the way you desire to be loved? Is it because we measure our lives and our success with someone else's ruler? We constantly are comparing ourselves to that of others who walk a different path than us. We realize that fact, but then again, we don't. We try to be just like such and such because we aren't using our own ruler, and we aren't able to see the bigger picture and why that person may be the way that person is. Could your lack of self-love be from trauma, such as being bullied in high school, lack of love from your parents, divorce of your parents, or previous bad relationships that we haven't taken the time to heal from? Can it be that the lack of self-love is because we don't see ourselves as the quote-unquote in crowd because we aren't thin enough, or we don't look like or act like the rest? You need to remember that your value isn't in the way you look, but in your actions, and it's in your words. Only loving ourselves when we look a certain way isn't self-love. It's actually self-destruction, in a bad way. This causes more negative self-talk and a never-ending cycle of negativity. I never looked the same 2 days in a row, let alone every day. It is time we all take the time and put in the effort to put ourselves first, and we begin to love ourselves and fall in love with ourselves like we do when we start a relationship. When you fall in love with someone else, isn't it unconditional and hopefully everlasting? You go through a number of stages during the course of that relationship to get you to love. Step number 1, romance. You get to know that other person through dates, time together, and TLC. Number 2, the awkward stage. You feel like you can be yourself around this person, but you're scared to be your complete self quite yet. Number 3, comfortability. You feel at ease enough to open up more, be yourself, and accept things you may not like. Number 4, stability. Your energies are in mesh with each other. You are in love and you may be ready for that next stage. Number 5, commitment. You make that decision to be committed to that person and vice versa in a relationship in which you will help each other grow, gain, and glow. We need to take that same energy and put it towards ourselves. We must learn to love everything about ourselves, even the mistakes, even the flaws, even the quirks, because that is what makes us unique. And just as any relationship, these steps may vary in the amount of time it takes, but the goal in the end is the same. Love. And in the process, allow yourself to feel. Forgive yourself and let go of the past. Accept yourself. Sometimes the best way to start is to clear our minds from all the extra noise. So meditate. Take time to spend with yourself, social media free, as sometimes that can influence the way we view ourselves. I love to do self-care activities like essential oil bubble baths, or watch a good movie with popcorn, or giving myself my homemade facials I practice. You have to get to know yourself. What are your likes and your dislikes? What do you enjoy doing? What are you passionate about? Try to do something outside of your comfort zone. This right here, this podcast, speaking, is outside of my comfort zone. I hated public speaking because it made me so anxious. But since I've been growing as a woman and developing my voice, I felt that this platform would continue to help me, as well as help others. So be creative and express yourself in any way that you can. You should remind yourself every day of how incredible you are, because you are incredible. Tape affirmations to your vanity or mirror. You can even download an app that sends you positive affirmations so many times per day. And I believe it's called Think Up is the app. Celebrate your wins. I celebrate every freaking win, no matter the size. I celebrated launching my podcast. I celebrated writing my book. I celebrated being more me. Everything, because that not only boosts my self-esteem, but it tells my brain that I am grateful. And law of attraction says you are what you attract. And if I continue to win and celebrate, then more wins will begin to come to fruition. Avoid any negative self-talk, and when you begin to think in that way, remind yourself of where you are and where you're going, and replace those negative thoughts with positive ones. Don't avoid the negative thoughts, because dealing with them will help you in your journey to self-love, and it'll help you reframe those thoughts, but don't spend too much time on them. Spend more time on positive self-talk. Build your strengths and be grateful for those strengths that you have. Be lenient on yourself. I can't say that enough. Be lenient on yourself and give yourself grace. Live a grateful life. Appreciate all you are, all you have, where you are, and how far you have come. Make a list of the things that you are grateful for, or start a gratitude journal, and avoid duplicating the things that you are grateful for. And just sit back and look at everything that you have to be grateful and thankful for. There was a time in my life where I was going through a really rough patch. I began a gratitude journal, and every morning I would write the things I was grateful for and never duplicating. It puts into perspective what you have, but also the fact that you have more than you think if you really sit and think of it. Make sure to smile and find humor in life. Don't burn out ruminating about the hardships. I now find humor in a lot. At my house, we make a lot of back and forth jokes. I love to laugh and make people laugh because life is too short to be serious 24/7 and to not enjoy it. Make sure that you're setting boundaries and sticking to them. And if you have difficulty in this, then self-care is lacking. You need to take that time to figure out what it is that is causing you to not be able to set boundaries, because without boundaries, you may get taken advantage of, manipulated, or walked all over. You need that piece of this in order to help you get to the point of self-love. You should surround yourself with goodness. And that includes movies, books, music, people, and end all toxic relationships with things and people. That may be hard too, but if you love yourself, if you're working on loving yourself and you're hanging on to that toxicity, you will never get to that point of self-love completely. Do something small that you love each day. Self-care improves self-love. For me, it is podcasts, books, tea, movies, and shows I partake in at least one of those daily. Have a cup of tea. Take a relaxing bath. Read that book or go for a walk. Live intentionally with a purpose and know where you are going and where you want to go. Self-love impacts your choices you make when finding a mate, your performance at work, and overall life and problem solving. When things change inside of you, things change around you. In order to be your absolute best, you must nurture yourself and your needs. Solitude allows you to re-energize, reevaluate, and restore. Be enough for yourself first, and the rest of the world can wait. Loving yourself will be the greatest revolution. I want to hear about your self-love journey. So contact me by emailing me and let me know how you began to love yourself. How was your journey? What did you have to do in order to get to that stage? And if you're not completely there yet, I want to talk to you too. What is blocking you from getting there? What is stopping you? What is holding you back?